really innocent.
F-R-E-E, fuck nigga free. That mean I ain't gotta worry about no fuck nigga cheat. And I'm S-I-N.
Come on, Mike.
Two brave women come up here and suck a cucumber dick. Mike eats some watermelon pussy.
Welcome back to Good Moms, Bad Choices.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day, family. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Great.
You know, I feel like as I get older, you think that you get into motherhood and you're like, I got this. I know this. Like, I can do it. And then there's just always these periods where it's just like, what the fuck? Just like there's always, I feel like as a mother, nobody talks about enough that like there's so much responsibility on solely you to like, I feel like to just supply shit for the family. And sometimes I just think about like being alone and eating my own food with nobody touching it or touching me or telling me anything or asking me to do anything. And I think, wow, am I a bitch? And I just think, no, everybody just wants pieces of you all the time.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just had a realization.
What?
Mila.
What?
You are like now a married woman where you don't get breaks anymore. I'm so sorry.
You know, you might be like, you're right. I never equated it to that because we've always been mostly single.
If you've listened to the show, we've talked about how married women are fucked because
they never get breaks.
They never get breaks. Like even when like kids go away, like they're still stuck with the husband or whatever the fuck. There's just always someone in the house. Even their self-care day is like might get interrupted for some bullshit. You're married now. I'm so sorry. I mean, I think I'm so happy for you. I mean, Orlando, no offense, but
I'm very happy for me too. Someone asked me the other day, like about Orlando moving here, and I was like, "Well, this is the only way that this works for me." I was like, "No, I need this. He needs to be here. It actually makes me a better person, but also it is a shift because the other day I watched a movie alone, and I was like, this is so great." I just laid on the couch. I was like, wow, I haven't done this in so long. I watched that movie like December, June about the fucking crazy pedophilia fucking teacher who got pregnant by her 7th grade student. And I was just like in heaven, just alone, watching TV, nobody asking me shit. But I realized like, Mom, can I have this? Can I have a piece of this? Can I have a bite of this? No! And I also came to this own conclusion. No one told me this, but I think in my past life, whatever one of my past lives, there was a shortage on food. I don't know which one. It must have not been that far away because
it probably was the Great Depression.
Every time somebody wants some of my shit, I literally just want to.
Or the Great Famine. What was it? The
potato famine.
Some great time that there was not a lot of food.
There was a lot of those moments, but every time I'm like, why am I so annoyed by this? I've just come to the conclusion that there was a time where there was scarcity of food, and so that's why I'm triggered every time still. But I think just not just being a mom or a wife. I think it's really just being a business person as well, and I just want to lock myself in a beach for like 30 days.
You want to lock yourself in a beach?
Yeah, like just leave me alone. Get away. But I think it's just me getting older too. I think as I get older, I'm like such a friendly bitch usually, and I'm like, I'm ready to do this, I'm ready to do that. And now as like 35-year-old woman, I'm like, remember the time we had the human design Erin on, and she was like, "You probably need to live separately from your husband or have your own room." And I was like, "That bitch knew me." And I don't want to live separately because I'm much more needy. I need more things, but I'm just like, I do really need solitude sometimes because, like, after 400 questions or comments, I'm just like, I just can shake my head and look over, and I'm like, wow, I'm a bitch. But I just think it's the, motherhood. Yeah. But I love my family. Don't get it twisted. I do. I love all my family, but I understand women who just like one day say I'm going to get a cigarettes and never come back.
Like a mother god?
Like a mother god. Like fucking psycho mother god. God, I'm obsessed.
If anyone has not yet, I've been putting everyone on to this documentary. It's called Love Wins. Love.
I think Love Wins. That's why I said they stole it from the gays.
Love Wins, the Cult of Mother God. Please go watch this. Love has won. The cult of Mother God.
I'm not finished with it, but I do want to say it's a cult of this white bitch who's like basically trailer park trash, who started getting to spiritualism, did ecstasy once, and then people started coming to her cult, which is crazy that it was that easy. But which really, really got me is that there were 2 black people that I saw.
But wait, let's rewind, because she was not trailer park trash.
Yeah, I saw her.
No, she came from a well-to-do family.
No, she was a manager at McDonald's, babe.
That's because she needed a job. She was like a teenager then.
No, they struggled with money.
Trailer park trash is a stretch.
I don't think by the end of it, the bitch was trailer park trash. Listen, that's up for debate. In my mind, no white bitch who looks like trailer park trash is about to starve me and tell me what to do. I can't imagine that me being ever so hopeless and desperate for that. And it just was like, it's really a deep dive into the psyche of hopeless people, and I'm really obsessed with it. But it's also like scary how like sad people are that they would just go.
Well, she just went to dinner one day with her family on her birthday and then said, "Fuck you guys," and went home.
No, she said, "I'm leaving." And they thought it was normal, and they came home and all her shit was gone. She had 3 kids, and literally she never came back. She went and found her father god, one of her many father gods, and started a whole cult in which people paid her for readings, and she spread some bullshit, and that she had a galactic team that consisted of Robin Williams,
Donald Trump, Marilyn Monroe, and Tupac.
There's a lot of people in there.
Yeah, there was about 40 people on there.
Those were the main ones that I was just really wanting her to get more into the Tupac. But
they never tapped into that.
Oh, fuck. I'm not done with it. I need to finish that tonight. That's actually going to be my leave me the fuck alone, be silent. We're watching Mother God right now.
It's so good.
I want to remake it as a spoof, and I want to play the black girl who was there. Because
the one that like never spoke.
Because
I only saw her in like the surveillance video.
The surveillance, and then there's like one black guy. I really want to ask these niggas, what in the fuck happened to you for you to be here with this white bitch? Because this is crazy. Anyway,
I
sorry.
hope you don't abandon your family like Mother God and go start your own cult. Although you'd be a great cult leader.
I saw like traces of myself in her. And
me too.
When she was like looking into people's eyes and telling them how great they were, I'm like, that's me.
Well, the whole thing was about pleasure. Like, it's so pleasurable.
Nothing's bad.
Alcohol, cigarettes, weed.
It's all medicine.
It's all medicine if you use it intentionally.
But then the
bitch was a raging alcoholic.
But she was using it as medicine. And they were like, for most people, alcohol is medicine. But for Mother God, it helped her channel the pain of the world. I saw her be Robin Williams when she was on alcohol. I was like, bitch, you're nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go watch that. We are not.
It's on HBO Max if anyone has any trouble finding it.
If only they were sponsoring this review.
I know. I really wish they were.
If anyone works at HBO, call us. Or Netflix. I'll watch more TV for you. But anyway, we have a guest. We have a very special guest here today. I know people on YouTube hate when we do this, but we got to catch up with each other because we didn't see each other yesterday.
We didn't talk 4 times today already.
No, not at all. Today we have a special guest who is my dear friend and my colleague. We just graduated from Sexology and Tantric Practitioner School. Mike Johnson!
Thank you for having us out.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. I'm good to be here with y'all. This is like, I think for my audience, for me to be here is really cool. I've never done something I felt so comfortable right now. So
Perfect. You look comfortable. You leaning back and shit.
We'll be friends. That's my sangha brother.
Wait, and can I also add to the introduction, because he is an author, he is a sex coach, he is the
sexologist trumps the sex coach now.
sex coach, sexologist.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you be both? Do you still identify as both?
Nah, it's a sexologist.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's a sexologist. Sex coach was cool, but we've upgraded that title. But I appreciate it.
So wait, when you were a sex coach, were you helping people have better sex? Is that what you were doing, or?
I mean, that's a part of it. I think that a sexologist is just an upgraded version of what a sex coach, what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And so as a sex coach, if someone desires to have better sex, someone desires to have more sex, it was mainly, I would say, as a sex coach, what I did was conflict resolution within relationships. Mm-hmm. And of course, sex was always a part of that. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was amazing. I want more of it.
So how did you go from, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you might be looking at Mike and be like, why does he look familiar? And if you watch network television, then I don't. But if you look at him, you might say,
why you say it like that?
You might say,
if you look at him,
face.
You might look at him just really closely. You might say, was he on The Bachelorette? Was that on ABC?
Yeah.
NBC?
Well, let me see your demographics, and I'll tell you if they know who I am.
Black people don't really be knowing.
Exactly.
Bachelorette.
Like when I go to Atlanta, when I go to Dallas, somebody know who I am.
I only know that because I looked on your Instagram and I was like, this nigga was on The Bachelor. He's famous.
Wait,
That's real.
how did you? Wait, first of all, how did you? Because we're going to get into all the sex, but I'm very curious. How did you get on? Why?
You said why? What the fuck? Why?
And if you're watching,
Why?
Mike's a very handsome man. There's only like 2 niggas at our school, and the bitches were flocking poor Mike the whole week at school. I was like, oh my God, do I need to save him? You know, when you're in the club and you see your friend like
I think
trying
you
to
did, say something like that.
I'm like trying to wink, like save me. I was like, oh my God, if the bitches don't leave Mike the fuck alone.
Oh, no.
I was like, is this how it feels to be a tall, handsome black man? Because I feel bad for you.
I mean, I think that women have it more so.
I know. I was going to say, don't you experience this?
Girl, the bitches are aggressive.
Sure.
They don't have no
Well,
trust.
yeah, because I think women feel like they can get away with more than a man can.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
And then it just don't look good. Like if a man were to come out about that, like the culture we have, it doesn't support that at all.
That's true. No, a man that can't comfortably say this bitch was really being inappropriate with me and riding me, they're gonna be like, nigga, man up.
Yeah, that's actually how I got on the show.
Okay, tell us.
Yeah, that's perfectly how I got on the show. I know we spoke about it a little bit. So I was, they say when nigga get his heart broke, it take him a long time. Like if he really loved a girl, I don't know if it's true or not, but it did for me. It took me a long time. And then I was over, and then I was, I did my little phase, horrible stories phase,
Hoe face.
okay. And then it was like, I just was ready to be married. I was for real. I was
You
like,
went from hoeing to I'm a husband.
Well, it was never really trying to be a hoe. It was just all about
Rebound.
bored. You know how I'm.
Listen,
For real. Do you know how boring it is being single
and
not being bad?
I resonate with this deeply. This is what our whole show is about. Yeah. It's about being a hoe and then saying, actually, I want to be a wife.
Is that what our whole show is about? It took only about 5 years to get to the actually want to be a wife.
This is a real reason.
Well, that was fun, but now I'm ready.
365 times 5. That's how many days it took to realize we wanted to be wives.
Hey, but we there. You know what you
One
like.
day the light just turned on, and I said, I'm a wife today.
I mean, that's what life is, just a bunch of errors, right? Errors as in ERA.
So when the husband switch turned on, you said, I know what. I'm going to join the Bachelorette.
Nah, so like the husband switch turned on, I was deployed in the military. And I remember I was like talking to a guy one day, and I was like, yo, I want the hard road up. And I was 24 at the time, right? Yeah, I think if I was talking to my 24-year-old homies, I'd be like, nah, bro.
Wait, you want the hard road up?
Yeah.
Meaning like you want to like really work hard for love?
No, meaning like I think a part of the issue with a lot of dating culture today is that we're a swipe right culture. And so therefore when shit happens, you can easily leave that situation. That's what I mean by hard road up. Like actually, to be honest, what hard road up means is working on your own shit. That's what it means. In comparison to just like
not just backing out and backing down the moment shit gets a little tough.
Yeah, and like blaming shit and like that all that stuff that people be doing.
Okay.
And so that's what I mean by that.
Got it.
Guess who's coming to a city near you?
Us bitches. That's right. We're going back on tour with Confessions of a Good Mom.
Are you ready to confess your dirty little secret?
Are you ready to have the ultimate girls' night or date night? We're hitting Philly, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, New York, Charlotte, Houston, and Dallas. And we cannot wait to turn up with you guys.
If you haven't been to a Good Mom show, it is epic. It is fun. It is debauchery. It is a night of freedom, pleasure, and celebration and connection. And do all the things you wouldn't do Monday through Friday.
We are giving you the ultimate girls' night, the ultimate date night. So bring your lover, don't be shy, and come hang out with us in your city. Click the link in this episode description and do not miss out. We're going to be in Philly on March 13th, Washington, D.C. on the 14th, New York on the 16th, Atlanta on March 21st, Charlotte March 22nd, Houston April 18th, and finishing our tour in Dallas on April 19th.
This ain't like any other live podcast show you've been to, so get your hoochie gear, get your ladies, or come alone and come shake some ass.
Wait, so tell me how you got on the... Why?
Oh, my bad. So I was I was at work. I was a financial advisor. My homie, he's the one that put me on the show. I was getting a bunch of texts at the time, and like I just threw my phone one day. I just threw my phone across the room because and I was just saying all these girls want to do is just fuck.
Wait.
And I want to wait. So
Wait.
It's weird to say.
You had had it.
I don't think I said it on.
You had had enough of these hoes. They just wanted to fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Straight
Said
up. You
no
know
man ever.
No, that's 100% false. Like, you know how Drake is on his.
Wait, and what made you feel like
I was
they
like
were?
28
They
at
just
this
wanted to
time.
fuck. They were like texting you late night. They were like sending you nudes. They just weren't taking you seriously. They weren't like engaging in serious wifey conversations.
No, I think they were trying to engage in serious conversation. I think that's just what they wanted at that time.
Okay.
So I mean,
You were
want what
fed
you
up.
want. Yeah, I was just fed up. I wanted like, damn, can we like go on a date or some shit? I don't know, like. Nigga,
They just want to
fucking
come
is
over and
fucking.
shit.
Like, can we do more than just fucking? Like, I don't want to feel like a piece of meat all the time. So that's what that was.
I really enjoy. I really enjoy hearing a man say that.
Wait, so then from there, then your friend said you should join the Bachelorette. Because,
Hell no, he was laughing his ass off at me.
Oh,
he was like, "What man that can get pussy that ain't no girls around would say something like that?" He was so like just perplexed, dying laughing at me. Like forever, he just couldn't get it through his head. He was just like, "Why would you say that, bro? You because he's not." I don't want to talk about the homie right there, but.
He ain't getting pussy like you.
Yeah.
I was thinking he's not there yet, but okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He wasn't there yet at that time, right? This is years ago. And so he was just dying laughing at me. And then a few weeks later, he sent me like who even goes on Facebook no more, a Facebook message. And it was like applying for the show. And I was off work that day.
And you just said, fuck it.
I was like, fuck
divine
it.
timing.
Yeah. It wasn't even divine timing. It was just like.
Well, it sounds like it was. You were off work that day. You had time.
Well, true.
And he was looking for love.
And
But I wasn't like. I ain't gonna say I was looking for love. I was just like wanting the real thing, right? I think when we say looking for love, we think about like you out here searching and shit. Like it was just more so like I ain't got time for you. I ain't got time for you. I got to work on myself. Like if you come through, then you come through.
Had you watched the show at that point?
Never.
Okay.
Never. I heard of the show.
Because I was like, there's mostly been only white women
it was
contestants.
zero. I watched 0 episodes at that time in my life.
Okay.
I didn't know who Chris Harrison was. He's the GOAT host of the show, right? He was doing it for like 20 years or whatever. But
has it been around?
I was
that
going to say
long?
20 years? What
it's been
the
around
fuck?
since 01.
God, it has been around that long. We were in high school. The fuck? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been around since 01.
So what
but no,
was-
I didn't know. I mean, I knew it was a white show because it wasn't just in my circles.
Right.
That's just how I knew it was a white show. But I was why not?
Were you like one of 2 black guys or something on the show? Maybe 3.
Man, it's a good question. I think after the first day, it was like 4, max 5 of us, and I'm talking about that includes half black guys as well. If you have black in you, I'm including that.
How long did you last?
You as a sexologist, how long did you?
How long did you last, Mike?
I got sent home. There's a thing called hometowns, to where they go like to your mama house and they meet your people or whatever.
Oh, whoa.
I got sent home the week before that.
But you opted to go home, right? No? Am I telling you inside scoop?
I got sent home. Yeah, I got sent home.
He got sent home, Jamila.
Okay.
Sit
That's
home.
your big fat mouth.
Okay. His mom told
I gotta
him,
sit
"Don't
home.
come home with no hoe who can't use my comb," and so
Yeah,
he
that
didn't
is
go
true.
home.
That is true.
Comb?
Comb,
Like a hot comb?
like don't
she
so
don't-
don't bring a black.
Don't bring no girl home if she can't use my comb.
Okay. So, got it.
Yeah.
Don't bring a non-black woman home. Let me translate.
Well, you know what I find that's curious about this to me, and how old were you when you were on The Bachelor?
31.
31. You were tired of these hoes texting you, but then you got on The Bachelorette, which almost for me when I watch that show, especially for both sides, The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, it kind of feels like a meat market, sort of because. Unless you get way far in, and that's when people finally kind of get to know each other. But it is kind of like swiping right a little bit because it's very based on what you look like at first, right?
For the lead person, the male or the female, like the Bachelor or Bachelorette, for them a bit more so.
I mean, maybe they have a different
contestant.
mentality going in. They know they're not just looking for someone with looks, and they're.
I think about it like this: like if I was ever the Bachelor, if it's 30 women, right? Mm-hmm. I'm only gonna be sexually attracted to probably 4 of y'all, max probably 6, right? Mm-hmm. Unless they ask me exactly what my type is, right? So let's say 6 women, right? Mm-hmm. From a sexual and just looks perspective, and then out of those 6 women, I get I think it's like 10, 11 weeks, 12 weeks to get to know her, for her to get to know me, and so I think it's more than just a meat market. I think.
Okay.
But I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like when you get off the show. Or when you go on Bachelor in Paradise, that Bachelor in Paradise is what you're talking about.
You did that one too?
I did, yeah.
Peanut gallery over there.
There's never been a black Bachelor.
There has, yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, there's one time in 20 years. Once in 20 years.
Yeah, once in 20. We'll be in 2024. Once in 23 years. Yeah, it's crazy.
I could see you being the Bachelor.
I mean, it is such a phenomenon. The kind of loyalty these as you as a contestant and the Bachelorette, the fans, there's such super fans. I mean, there's podcasts literally just about The Bachelor, and they kill it. They get crazy listens.
2 Black Girls, 1 Rose. Shout out.
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
Yeah, they kill it. There's such a huge
market.
I mean, I think at one point that franchise was the second biggest unscripted television show in America behind Shark Tank. And so, yeah, the show was huge. I mean, going to other countries and getting recognized is pretty cool. I never thought that would happen. So, yeah, it's a big show.
So then from there, how did you get from there into sex coaching and wanting to be a sexologist? And were you always interested in sex? And
yeah.
I mean, not, okay, that's a stupid question. Were you always interested in, I guess,
coaching people or leading in the sex industry?
So what's funny is that I remember I was 18 and I told my homie, shout out Jay Cosme, I was like, bro, I'm thinking about what if I became a doctor of sex? I remember saying that at 18. I was like, look, I'm gonna have money. My wife gonna be good. She gonna be feeling good because I'm gonna be sexual with her, but also have a mindset to understand some things from a mental aspect. I said, well, mama gonna be happy because I'm a doctor. I really thought about all them different aspects of that, and then obviously life goes on, and then I just came back into the field for a few reasons.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
I don't think I've ever said it. 11.
Was the girl older than you?
Yeah.
Significantly?
Was significant at 11? Yeah. So yeah, she was
14,
19.
What the fuck? We gotta go find her.
That's pedophilia.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Was she your nanny?
Like a girl in the neighborhood?
But I remember when I was 5 years old. Yes, women do stuff too, for sure. When I was 5 years old, my babysitter,
fondled you?
It was I remember I was in Germany. We were playing hide and go seek, and I came upstairs and she was naked on the bed. And so yeah, there's definitely moments that I think helped me to become a sexologist, to understand, and to work through my own emotional wounds, and to really, I got into the field, what ultimately put it, because there's 4 things, but the last straw, I guess, was when I didn't know what to do in the situation with my ex. We had a miscarriage. And so I was like, I don't want to be a dumb dude. I don't cheat. And we weren't having sex. And so it was that shit was pissing me off, right? And I didn't know what to do. But I didn't know, I was ignorant at the time. I didn't know how to, because we could talk about my side and say how bad guys are, right? But it's two sides to a story, and it's two sides to a relationship. And it's two brains in a relationship, unless you're in a throuple, right? Then it's three or more. And so, like, I didn't understand that if she's not conveying something, that nothing is not there, right? It's like, and this is where, you got to convey how you feel, because like your partner isn't a mind reader, but at the same time, I wanted to be better, to be able to pick up on social cues, to be able to pick up on just small things.
So you felt like you didn't know how to support her.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that you just, called a spade a spade. I think a lot of men, there's so much ego, and there's so much patriarchy, and there's so much fucked up rhetoric around men, like masculinity and femininity, and like how that shows up, that a lot of men that I know have lost their virginity really early to women that are significantly older, that are it's molestation or really rape. And they don't equate it as such as trauma, because they're like thinking that they're the young man, like the man of some sort, or they're just like, because they're a man, that's not a real thing. And so they are carrying this trauma, unhealed trauma, and not even processing or recognizing how it relates to how they treat women or how they show up. Or like even men not recognizing that, like, damn, I don't know shit about how I can support this woman, or what this looks like. And then they're okay with that. They keep moving through the world with that, that perception. Like, just, I guess it's mostly just like compartmentalizing
That's exactly what it is.
In a way that like, this doesn't mean that, and just moving forward. And I think that, like, if any men are listening to this right now, or women who have partners that have experienced things like that, and they like blow it off or, sweep it under the carpet, like, it's really time to start understanding like yourself in a way that you recognizes trauma is trauma, or else you cannot process it and you cannot heal from it, and you'll project those that form of abuse onto other people, even if it's not just like that, And I think it's just it's so fucked up that we live in this world that kind of makes it okay for boys to like have these sexual experiences with people significantly older than them, and they don't really, we just don't really talk about it as what it is.
I think that's a part of the issue right there, is that we in our society talk about how niggas ain't shit. And I agree, niggas ain't shit a lot of the times, right? But what we don't hardly ever talk about is that
some bitches ain't shit
some
either.
bitches ain't shit either.
Yeah.
And so like, but that aspect, since we can't have that conversation, right? A lot of men just compartmentalize things and just put that down. But women do the same thing, put stuff down, compartmentalize fawning, right? And so therefore you got both people just like a cycle. It's a fucking cycle. And so like, that's what it is. And so I wanted to kind of stop that.
I can't help but think that, like, because I too have met a lot of men that have been raped or molested in their childhood, and they have a hard time calling it that. And I wonder, maybe you can shed some light on this, because I'm not a man, but I feel like rape, to say that out loud, somehow that becomes part of your identity. And if a man getting raped, I want to say feels like a feminine problem, because so many women experience this. So they almost feel like it feminizes them in some way, like they're a bitch, like and because they don't acknowledge it as so, they try to empower themselves and say, oh yeah, I fucked my babysitter when I was 12 and she was 22, and it was like,
I was that nigga.
It was experience, because to say I was raped feels
emasculating.
Yeah.
Your words matter.
Words matter.
Words matter, right?
So like, I'm wondering if it's that word in particular that doesn't allow men to really acknowledge. I mean, I'm sure it's more than that, but I wonder also if that word in particular, as it pertains to a man, makes them feel like weak, or like, that's not what happened. I can't relate to that. And don't get raped.
But think about the word rape in general. I'm gonna have to put a trigger warning on this episode, but just in general, even for women, I've been raped, and it took me a long time to say that word particularly, because it felt aggressive, and not that it had to be a part of my identity, but that that was too heavy of a burden to put on somebody. Like, even if someone has forced themselves on a woman's not going to be like,
You're a rapist.
You raped me. It's like, it almost feels like, I can't say that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say that. Like, I won't say that. Because most women, let's be real, like, get raped by people they know. You know, and like, it just feels like this heavy like sentence to put on someone. Like, it's such a huge accusation. Even if it is what it is, you're not going to like say that. And so I think it's a heavy word, but like, it triggers men and women so differently. You know, because I do think it makes men feel like in some ways weak, and I think women too. But for women, it's just more scary to be like the woman who made that accusation.
I don't think it's just like an automatic thing. Like, you're born a man, you're born a woman, therefore you think this way. I think it's just the conditionings we have as society. 100%. Like, I grew up in a environment in Dallas, and where I remember being light skinned, going to Big T, and like niggas want to test me. You know what I mean? Just because of the melanin in my skin, right? And I think the same thing when we talk about, taking advantage of someone. Like, it's the culture around it, truly what it is. I think that when you mention the word feminine, I think that even the way we think of it is incorrect. In terms of male, female, we all have this within us, right? And so I think of a person who has both qualities, and I think Kanye West has both qualities, right? Truly, and lives both sides of that, to be able to have a plan and make that shit happen, but then also to be creative as fuck, and then just to sit with what's going on. And so I think that my girl and I talk about this often in terms of what we see as a man, right? The ability to have both, truly, like the marriage of the two. Like, to be able to,
most men won't ever like
the feminine and the masculine.
Yeah,
to be able, and nigga don't mean like, that don't mean you are not hard. That don't mean that you are queer of some sort. That just means like you able to speak on your shit, and then stand on that, right? I think I think truly that makes us stronger. You feel me? Like, if we talking about what strength is, you mentioned the word weak, Mila, right? That makes you stronger,
to
male or female, right?
Yeah.
So, like, growing up, I'm curious about your upbringing, and just your history with sex. Like, was sex something that your parents talked to you about, or was it something that you kind of had to like do your own, due diligence on? Or, like, were you able to talk to your parents about sex at all, or like how to have good sex? Or, I mean, probably not. That's a reach, but I'm like, you're from Texas. Yeah. My daddy's from Texas. They don't talk about that type of shit. But yeah, I'm just curious. Like, did you have that kind of openness in your upbringing? Not
at all. I would say I remember one time, I think my mom caught me looking at like a Playboy magazine of some sort, right? And then she got mad at me or whatever, and my grandma was like, "At least he's reading."
Oh, God.
I never.
Okay, Granny.
I never get that.
I love your fucking.
That's
love
right.
your
No, shout out to her. You feel me? And then
not at least he's reading.
I don't think he was
Is he
reading,
reading, Granny? I think he's looking at the pictures, Granny.
It was words
on
in
your
it.
side,
You
though.
feel me? It was words in it, but what is a rack, right? You don't know if we talking about the country, we talking about
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And so like there wasn't. I remember my mom when I was like 11, 12, 13 maybe. She gave me a pamphlet of like how to look at your testicles or whatever to make sure they straight, and that was really about it. Oh, and then my aunt, I remember her saying one time, she said, because I got caught watching porn or something, and she said, he got to learn from somewhere.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's what she said.
Would you say there was like one sex, like, because I feel like, because now you work in this space, and it's like Tantra specifically, it's like for a straight black man from Texas. I'm not being what do you call yourself? Geographically discriminative. Oh. I'm just curious because like that's such a, I don't want to say it's not a wild practice. What's the word I'm looking for?
Foreign. It's not. It's taboo. It's not traditional for a black person. Period. We think anything outside of Christianity is the devil.
Yeah,
and it's Buddhism.
Like, how do you go from like not having any sort of like guidance per se to then to this space? Like, was there? Because a lot of times I do find that men that are sexually explorative and very open, usually there's like that one partner that like. Bust them open. Yeah. That one woman that like opened them up. Is that the case for you, or was it kind of just like a journey of like an unblossoming.
I don't think nobody had to bust me open. I came out
For lack of a better word.
I came out ready. But I didn't have that experience where I was with somebody who just turned me out per se.
Well, I don't mean turn you out, but just like opened your mind sexually for you to just be open.
Nah, so like I'm from Texas, but I've lived around the world. From child up, right? Lived in Europe, which definitely opens your eyes up, right? Yeah. And then as a young man, I went back to Europe and lived there for 5 years. And so I grew up Christian in the black church. But I think one of the dopest things that you could do is explore for you and be authentically you. And so my grandma and I just talked about this too. She's very Christian. It was like, Mike, my man can't jack off or whatever, or he can't, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I talked to her about this.
You know what I mean? Like,
your grandmother?
Yeah, because like
was telling you about her partner?
Nah, I had to like open it up, right? Because we don't have that relationship, but she respects what I do, and I respect her as a human and a woman,
right?
And a sexually liberated individual. And I was like, well, don't you want him to last longer? Don't you want him to be able to know what to do and you know, be there for you? And then like we were just having conversations, and she kind of was like, oh, okay, you know. And so like you could be a Christian and still be and receive lots of pleasure sexually and give lots of pleasure sexually.
Of course,
But I know I'm with you. I get what you're saying.
I was more so saying like, you know, I know the practices that you guys are doing in Tantra are like, you know, if for someone who hasn't begun to kind of journey into that space would be like, what the fuck are y'all doing over there?
I agree.
You know?
I think this I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, I always say it's like level from where we are is like starting off at level 10.
And I would say, and I told Erica this too, I'm like, I'm a pretty open bitch, you know, I'm pretty open, as a you know, regular listener may know, but there were points in this process where I was like, this is very interesting because it's lineage based. We're learning like practices and meditations that are thousands of years old, and it's very foreign. If I like, you got to ease people in, but like, there's only like a handful of black students in our cohort, but also like I think that me and Mike have talked a lot about this, but even back to what we were saying about the masculinity, I think that there's been like a heavy cloak over society's eyes, particularly for black people because of slavery. But there's this idea for men, and I want you to listen closely, gentlemen. There's this false idea of masculinity for men, and I think it was the best like Kool-Aid they could have given the men, because what most men or alpha men, how they act out in their masculinity is so far from masculine. It's like they're so confused that in fact the most masculine man is able and willing to invite in his feminine traits, because then there's balance. And even for black women, we've been villainized because we are masculine. And even for black men to be like, well, that's why I date white women, because black women are too masculine. And it's not that we're too masculine, it's that we're able to swing on the swing back and forth on the pendulum for what we need. But the truth is, for both parties, we need to have balance. And to be feminine, I need to be able to fucking fuck you up. You need to know I'm not to be fucked with, because I have cubs and I have family and I have to go get the paper and I can take care of myself. And there's also, for men, you have to be able to cry and acknowledge your issues and like all these things and be self-reflective. And that's actually a masculine man. And to have control and discipline over yourself, not to cheat and to be faithful. And niggas are men, when I say niggas, I mean men. Just for those who are just joining us, we say niggas, and it could mean many things. But, but you know, I just think that men have this idea that you have to like pound your chest, fuck as many bitches as you can, and that is what a masculine man is. And it's so far from the truth, because, you know, in the words of Jeezy, real niggas don't cheat. But it's true. If I'm a woman or a man of my word,
he lied.
He did lie. I'm sure he did lie, because he obviously cheated. But when
Jenny said she cheated.
Listen, I wasn't saying Jenny was wrong. I'm pretty sure Jeezy probably fucked around.
He was trying to get with fucking Nia Long. Okay?
I would be too.
He said, "Let me get in this pussy." Real
I
quick,
would
Nia.
be too.
I don't
you
cheat,
see how fine
Nia.
she is?
I want to say something to that. Don't want you to finish your thoughts.
Okay, my thoughts be long. Yeah, I know. I get long-winded. I get high. That's the problem. So I just think that there's this huge confusion in our culture, and even for women too, thinking that that's what masculinity means, or if fucking Drake paints his nails yellow, he's sassy, or whatever the weird shit, you know, you
Drake
wear this outfit
sassy.
or you wear the man purse. Like, that's the least of everybody's, like, how are you holding me down, and how am I holding you down? And I just think, like, it's the balance of both. We both have to have equal parts, but particularly me and Mike have talked about this for, like, what we have gone through this process, this 2-year process of completing this program, is really for our people. And of course, I'm here for everybody. I'm a people person, and, you know, like, we're all pink on the inside.
What?
You never heard that?
No.
Whatever. But the point is,
The fuck?
You talking about women?
I had a very weird visual when
I'm
you
just
said that.
saying, when we open up this flesh box,
Oh, I didn't know what way you were talking. You
flesh
talking
and
about
bones.
lips?
We're
All
just-
these words.
all I'm saying
Flesh
is,
box.
Yeah, this is a flesh box. Essentially, we're being just a flesh suit.
Flesh suit.
I got that from somebody in our
Flesh
school.
suit.
She's on a roll.
It is though.
Flesh-
Essentially, we are
Flesh
we are souls.
Yeah.
Just utilizing this body so we can touch and feel in this lifetime. You know what I mean? But, like, I think particularly, like, for Black people, our sexuality and our pleasure and our idea of masculine and feminine has been so far off because we've been suppressed for so long in so many ways that, like, this work is extremely important for us to, like, kind of spread the word of the good word, because I just think, you know, you asked Mike, like, how do you get into this? That someone busts him open like a bitch or something. But I just think, like, if you just take 20 minutes to just have common sense, man or woman, and you're like, let me just be better. Let me just be better. Let me just be a good person and respect the person I'm with and get to understand the other opposite sex more, just because that's a part of coexisting in the world. Then you kind of want to evolve. And, you know, like, that's just like, it's just like a white person benefiting from white privilege. You know how, like, some white people just don't believe racism exists anymore because get over it. It's like, of course you're not going to tell this bitch, because this bitch is benefiting from the fucking paradigm being fucked up. So it's just like men, if men can get away with bitches being afraid to say rape, women knowing that women are going to keep their secrets, and they've been able to get away with being this fake version of masculine, they're not going to then, like, opt for the equal rights because they know they benefit from the system that exists. Okay, sorry, what were you saying, Mike?
No, I was letting you. I was just going to speak to the fact that I think that at times men actually do want to be expressive in their feminine talk. When I say feminine, I'm strictly talking about expressive of emotions, right? You feel me? Whether it be sexual emotions or angry emotions, you feel me, or sad emotions. But you know how many stories I've heard, how many stories I've seen myself and from the homies that when they try to speak to their women or speak to women in general, they get shunned. You feel me? Like, oh, you a bitch. You crying like that, or whatever the case may be. Or you doing that, you dressing like this, or whatever the case may be, right? And so therefore, it's also hardening us from, like, elementary school. You feel me? Like, so it's if a man tries to cry in front of me and he gets shut down,
It's trauma.
you think he gonna do that again? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm not saying that that's all men, but there's an aspect of that I don't think that conversation get had either.
What do you think women can do to support their man's vulnerability more? Like, what I'm hearing that, like, you know, the mistake that women make is, you know, like, because sometimes I probably have been part of this, because sometimes I had this, well, he was kind of crazy though, but I didn't understand his emotions. So he would cry and I'd be like, what the fuck are you crying for? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Are you manipulating me?
That's fair though.
The answer was yes, but
yes.
but I probably did cause him more trauma because of that. But
He had trauma before.
But
that
I didn't
girl.
start it. You know,
was
I didn't
crazy.
start the trauma.
She said, I didn't start. I just
didn't
added
start
to
that
it. I
shit.
just added to it. Okay, I didn't
I
start it
might have
though.
added a little something, but I didn't start that trauma, nigga. You were crazy from the beginning.
I'm sure that nigga was.
But I guess, yeah. What can a woman do? Maybe like someone who's listening right now, maybe they know, like, you know what, I did shut my man down. How do I fix that? What do I do to make a man feel safe? Like, what is elementary that maybe we don't get as women?
if a woman were to say to her partner, after kind of like coming at him for showing his emotion, I would say, for example, not when he doing his thing, you feel me? Whether that be playing the game, watching the game, or doing whatever the case, right? But like tone, timing, and turf matters. And so I would say you get that out the way, and then it's like, hey, baby, I felt weirded out because I haven't seen this before. And so I did this, whatever this is, right? And then that man is probably going to feel that you're showing some form of respect towards him because you're being vulnerable yourself. And this is why it's not even a man-woman thing. It's just like a 100 thing. You feel me? And so if those type of conversations were to be had, I think it'll be a lot less money going to these dating apps.
So I should get off the dating app.
I ain't say that now, shit.
I think evolved people need to be with evolved people. If you are evolved,
that's a good dating app. Evolved people.
Oh my God, is that our claim to fame? The Tantric dating app. Evolved people. EVOL.
How do you vet them?
When you say Tantra, have y'all talked about that? When you say Tantra, like how you gotta like decipher this shit?
You know what? I haven't, because you know what I realized too? When I'm talking to like people, honestly, in my community, like mostly my friends, no one, I guess everyone assumes it just has strictly to do with sex, but I don't think anyone has really any clue. So I don't have to go deep, but I know like Tantra, Neo-Tantra, that's like big in the white communities or big in the Western world, is solely based in sex. And there's a lot of bad raps for what that means. It's like people fucking their clients on a massage table. There's like all types of levels of how people like under this guise of Tantra. And, I think that like I've been really diligent about saying that it's a lineage based, like how we've been inducted into is lineage based, and it's been practiced for thousands of years. You know, it's this form of yoga. It's a form of Buddhism that doesn't shy away from a very big part of us, which is sexuality. We are literally in whole mind, body, spirit, an alignment of like healing all of those things, and not just shying away from the sexual parts. And it's like religion generally does. That's what I say. Like, you know, religion doesn't really tell you it's bad. This is not that type of thing. It's a practice that is whole encompassing and teaches you how to like use pleasure as medicine. So I mean, I haven't really like led with it's not solely sex, but I probably should start.
That was great. I love the way you spoke about it.
How do you speak about
it? Healing. I say that. All your biases that you have, all your conditions that you have, all your the way that you see the world. We help to erode that and get you back to your full self, your full feeling. Yoga, you know, I say yoga of nervous system regulation.
Yeah. So what you have to do to get on the Evolved dating app is first you have to complete me and Mike's course. And once you complete the course, the 90-day course, you can be then vetted into the system. And then
that's a good Mom's Bad Choices course. I got that.
Then we need to look you in the eyes. Make sure you're not fucking nuts.
Only come here when you want to do fuck shit. Like, just start for the first 5 years over on Hinge, like me and Erica did. And then when you're ready and you realize there's nothing out there, you can come over to the Evolved app.
I definitely wasn't on them apps like that. I really wasn't.
How did you meet your girl?
My homeboy actually hollered at her at the club, but she stood up and like her height kept going and his height had stopped. And so,
you're like, get out of here.
No, I wasn't even there though. And so like he tried to like, this is what I told from both of them. He tried to like dance with her or whatever, and she said she tried to spin, but she couldn't like.
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean,
her hand under. She had a duck.
She had a duck.
Yeah, he had to jump.
You know what I mean? So she was like, "You nice, but I can't do it." And so then, you know, he put me on.
Oh, so this was later. This didn't all happen in one moment in the club.
No, this was like, I guess in a weekend.
Oh, okay. He was like, yeah, nigga, it ain't gonna work out.
So they went on a date?
Nah, hell no.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that's beautiful. Look at that. I love when men can do that for one another.
Yeah, see, I think so. I think that we show it in our own ways. You feel me? I mean, yeah, we do it. We can get a lot better though.
Yeah. So I'm single, and I'm still learning how to date properly because I don't know what that means anymore. What tips do you have?
How do you date properly?
What tips do you have for someone who, for me, I'm celibate right now, and I don't plan on having sex, but I've been having like these really interesting interactions with intimacy, but not like physical intimacy with someone, where like I'm in their energy, and we both obviously share like this attraction to one another, but we're not acting on it. And so it's like kind of like building this like, I don't know, this like energy between us.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is like,
what is like you being celibate right now and then having that energy building, how is that coming true in your life? What do you feel is coming out from that?
I don't know. I feel like it's healing something in me that I felt like was like taken from me in ways like that. I don't actually have to give my body to someone in order to, I don't know, like feel intimacy, really. Yeah. Like to feel, and I wouldn't even say love because I know that, but like it's more like this intimacy that I felt like my partner lived across the country, so there was already like this gap in our intimacy anyway. And so like when we were together, like I craved it so much. Like we like, you know, when you're away from someone for so long, like, so I'd had these like really intense moments of intimacy that felt like otherworldly because I think we also had chemistry, but also because of like that longing. And now in this situation, it's kind of the same, but it's healthier longing. You know, it's not like, oh, you're not here and I'm longing for you, or like, you know, are you cheating on me? Like, and I'm like, I need to be near you, you know? It's more of like I don't know, like building some sort of like safety around the intimacy.
That's good. I mean, you feel comfortable with that. Y'all are going it sounds like y'all are going at y'all space.
No, this is not my pace.
This is not your pace.
It's my pace right now.
Okay, so you're trying. Okay,
try something new.
You're trying something new. Okay, that's what it is.
It's been good. It's been challenging, but it's been fulfilling. Like I don't have any big desire to change, to like move faster or forward. You know what I mean? But now I lost my train of thought because I had a question about dating, and now I don't know what it is.
You know, I think it's a new year, and we are still in how do you call it? Cuffing season. Wow, your girl's been out of the game a long time. How do you call it? Cuffing season?
She said that's what's
it's
up.
It's still cold. And I think that what I hear, like people are tired, you know what I'm saying? And I think women are confused. I know a lot of sane, sexual, cool, successful single women who genuinely deserve good partnership, you know, like this is my wife, so we go together, you know, basically minus sex, like basically everything except sex. And I think that for women who are trying to date seriously, what do you think are like 5 things women get wrong in dating?
I think that like how you just explained y'all's beautiful relationship, I think that when you are in an intimate relationship with a person, like the person that you love, like in love with, I think that person has a unique way of pulling out the emotional wounds within you. And so I think it becomes different with that person versus like y'all as friends or whomever the relationship may be. So I think that it's different per relationship. A person could be amazing, terrific, loved by all, but then with their partner, they bring out something different in them. And so I think those are the things, I think in regards to women, but just people, again, men and women both, like working on your shit, taking accountability. Even accountability when it's like something that took place that wasn't your fault, but you've been attached to that for too long. Let go of that attachment, right? And so I think that would be a few right there. That's 3 right there.
I think I wonder if like, do you think that women who are like very forthcoming about like what their intentions are, is that like a mistake that women make? Because I feel like that's how I've led in the past. And I don't know if that's served me or hasn't served me. I don't know. Like, I feel like, because like niggas will lie and say, yeah, I'm ready for a committed relationship. So like, does it even matter to say that, or does that turn you off? Like, if a woman came to you and said, hey, listen, I don't know what you're doing, like second date, like, or maybe even first date, and it was like, hey, so listen, I really enjoyed this date. I want to let you know, like, I'm dating with intention. I'm not really interested in, casual dating. How do you feel about that?
I think two ways. The first way, it's like if you're a salesman, right? Let's say I used to work at Dillard's ladies' shoes department, right? I've done a lot of different types of sales jobs, right? And as good salesmen, they're going to pick up on what you want, and they're going to know how to pivot to what you want, right? And so I think in dating, a lot of times, like, if a person tells you, I want this, this, and this, if they're a bad individual, they're going to take advantage of that, and that. You feel me? And so
you shouldn't tell them?
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that's a fucked up nigga right there. You feel me? Like, if that were to be the case. But it's like if you're dealing with an immature individual and you're just very forthcoming and that person does you wrong, I think they just let you know that they're not for you in a quicker fashion, in a quicker way. But at the same time, do I think that, let me not skirt around the question, to be direct, two ways. One is per person basis, but then two, I do think that it's a dance. It's a give and take. The dance doesn't start with
read the room.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, you can't just if we about to dance, you don't just grab my hand and just and do the whole thing.
You guys been partying all day, and at the end you're like, so listen, I'm like only dating intentionally.
As a woman, I've had niggas tell me that on dates, and immediately I was like, oh, niggas crazy. Like, even if I was into it, I would immediately run.
It's a dance. Yeah.
Orlando said this to me one time. One time we were on mushrooms. We had known each other like a pretty good amount of time, and he was like, "What are we doing here?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was
like, "Motherfucker, we on mushrooms right now."
I was like, "Yeah,
that's not a good time though."
It wasn't a good time, but also like I think I have issues with commitment in general, but also you remember that Steve Harvey fucking book where he told everybody terrible advice as if he's a master of fucking dating. Whoa. And everybody took it, and he made millions of dollars. But like, he's like, tell someone on the first date what you want. I think it's cool to be like, yeah, I do want to be married. Yeah, I do want kids. Like, this is my intention. But like, I'm not telling someone on the first date just so you know. Like, that's
it's the intention, like the attitude
like,
with it.
Know your last name, like.
So that's a mistake that some women make, because I feel like women have been fed that information as well too.
By Steve Harvey. Which I don't know why you bitches took Steve Harvey's advice. He is not the dating master.
Lori Harvey's not. But
neither one of them, because she's dating his ass. He wore a toupee for years.
Is that what they're trying? Wait, I just had a realization. They are trying to make Lori Harvey like a dating expert, aren't they? Have you been seeing this on the internet? It just all hit me.
Because she's a regular 25-year-old?
They're like,
that's a good place.
I've seen like a few different.
It would be a good place for her. If she's smart, she'd go to Sexology school.
That's a good place.
They're like changing the narrative around, like, because typically a woman, especially a black woman, dating like multiple celebrities in like a period of like 2 years, she'd be a hoe. But Steve Harvey ain't playing that shit with his daughter.
Are you saying it's a PR campaign?
Well, I think that they have crafted a way, or she has been smart in the way that she's talked about her relationships, where I don't know if you've heard anything she said. It's not like she said anything like profound. She was just like, if it doesn't serve you, like, don't stay or whatever. Like, women deserve to be treated like goddesses, like basic shit. But I just realized, sorry, I just had this epiphany. I'm like, oh my God, are they trying to coin her as like a dating expert, Lori Harvey?
Probably.
That'd be a good play for her.
Because Steve Harvey coined himself as a dating expert?
Which I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. The bitches who went and like listened to him, like the same thing with the Kevin Samuels nigga. You have to question, why are you asking this man for this advice? If you are seeking, like, I know we need male perspective, and I know we have vastly different perspectives. So I understand having insight on each other's perspective, but also like why? Like, certain people just can't give me dating advice because you're not even on my level. And I think that's where women fuck up too. Is like, even for us, women like us who talk candidly on the internet about sex, have a lot of fun and have cucumbers in people's mouths at live shows, and it could be depicted a lot of ways. And I think for a lot of men, it's intimidating, and there's a label that's associated with a certain type of woman. So I know, like, I'm not going to date a regular, like a pastor. You know, he's probably not going to want to date me. And maybe, but like the truth is like I think you should lead with who the fuck you are authentically, and then don't try and fit a fucking like a watermelon inside an orange and be like, why isn't it working? You know what I mean? It's just like,
you be having my mind thinking about watermelon going into an
I don't know
orange.
I'm high, you guys.
I was like, well, you could just break it up, cut it up into little pieces, and slide it through.
It's just,
the bitch that just won't let it go. That's her.
You know,
I will make this fit.
You will love me. You will respect me.
You know, watermelon libido trick. Cut up an entire watermelon and put a coconut water in there, and like mix that up, blend that up.
He really believes in this because he said this to me many times.
Makes you like horny.
Yeah,
Makes you more horny.
It's a libido
Watermelon
trick.
and coconut.
Like not just the red part, but like get up in there. You feel me?
The
Cut
grind,
green?
too.
Yeah, get the green as well.
Uh-huh.
Get up in the not the green outside. I'm talking the white.
Like the white.
the white. Yeah, the white.
Okay.
Yeah, put all that in there.
Interesting.
It's a few
Hear that,
things.
ladies? Make your men smoothies.
Well, I mean, there's things about that too. He got to stop nothing.
He can stop what?
Coming. You stop ejaculating.
It's a stop ejaculating?
Yeah, doesn't mean he got to stop orgasming. Just separating that too.
Because we're preserving life force energy? Or
Fucking right.
Okay. You don't come.
I didn't say that.
What the fuck?
I said, I ain't
How
perfect.
you gonna recommend this shit and not do it yourself?
Because I do
When
do
you
it
have sex
myself,
with
but
your
not
girl,
100% of the
you nut every
time. No.
Your eyes just twitched.
Because I was trying to hear what you was. I was trying to hear. I was talking, wanted to hear you.
I went, no.
Because I want to make sure I ended. Say what you said again.
When you have sex with
Yeah.
your girlfriend,
Yeah.
you don't nut every time. Like, if you can. Not, I mean, I don't think you're, like, I know sometimes you just don't, you won't nut. But, like,
Yeah.
do you intentionally not nut at this point in time?
Yeah.
Of course. He's a
Yeah.
He does nut.
Stop.
I doesn't. I said does.
I does.
I does.
Doesn't.
I do. But then there's also times where I
What
don't.
does that have to do with him? He's talking about like that men should preserve their nuts. So I'm
Yeah.
asking if he does that too. Like if that's what he's doing.
I'm saying, as a man in this practice, he's absolutely not nutting 100% of the time he's having sex.
Okay.
That's a part of the practice.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm asking him because you're not his penis.
I mean, I'm his songest sister.
I know exactly what his dick does.
I know his practice. I know what he knows. So I know he's not. Mike's my friend. So we've spent a week in fucking Mexico talking about strange things like preserving life force energy. Yeah, it's true.
I say about 40% of the time.
Yeah, I was just asking because I was curious to know what Mike's answer was going to be.
I think that if people feel like they hear that and it feels like so appalling to not nut, because even me, I have a breeding kink. I want to see cum, and I think like it feels like alarming. Like, what do you mean you don't want me to nut? You know, like I think that's like something you have to like slowly like put on somebody, because I think everyone's immediate response is hell no.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that everyone also has different practices and how they practice Tantra. Some men, like, I think about Sting. Like, he was one of the first celebrities that really started talking about semen retention, and he wasn't coming for years. Like, so I don't know how long, like, how deep in the practice are you?
Well, see,
Are
you
you
ain't
not?
come at
That
it
was
that
my
way, though.
question. Like,
You
are you
ain't
not
come at it that
nutting
way,
at
though.
all right now? Like, because some people, like, that's what they do, and they preserve it for whatever it is that they're waiting for.
That question in Tantra speak is like, are you really doing your practice over there, my nigga?
That's not what I was asking.
I know,
That's why I was like, why are you attacking me?
It's in Tantra words, that's like, you're not preaching what you practice.
No, I was just asking because, like, I don't know. Like, everyone, you know, in any practice, you go through phases where you're doing that intensely, or you're just sprinkling it into your practice. Like,
It's not a phase. It's a part of life.
Okay.
And so this ain't an era. This ain't a chapter. This is the book. And so there are times to where I definitely do ejaculate, but then there are times to where I don't. And so
when you do that, when you do ejaculate, it is like even more pleasurable, right?
pleasurable, stronger, more in general semen, but then depletion and tiredness is even more so.
You feel more depleted as you've practiced it more?
Like, because if I'm going, like, let's say I go a month, right? And then we really get into my shit. But
You're a tantrico.
no, it's a tantrica though.
You're a tantrico.
It is Tantric.
We looked it up. It's a
Tantrico.
tantrica, yeah.
You're a Tantric now.
Yeah, tantrica though. Yeah. Nah, so like if I go 30 days without and having lots of sexual activity, like it's different if you don't have no sex. That's why I looked at you that way, because the question is so multifaceted. If you're talking about an individual that doesn't nut, but also they're not having sexual activity a lot, that's completely different versus someone who has a lot of sexual activity and still is not nutting. And so, I don't know why I said it so fast.
Do women also need to practice this as
No,
well?
because we don't ejaculate. So we're not like, so what it requires of a man to create semen, like the life essence, like literally the blood. It's to procreate. So it's taking all the best from all of your organs. And so it's depleting him every time he does it. But for women, we don't nut like that. So it's not the same thing. But it's such a part of the lineage that we practice that, like, I told him, like, I haven't really taught Orlando like I should, and so every time he nuts, I feel guilt, because I understand now, like, what that actually means, and I'm like, oh God, I got to do better, because my kids are being wasted all over inside me for no reason.
Inside me.
So, but it's a deep spiritual practice, and I think once you understand the spiritual side of it, then like the sexual side automatically evolves and like grows.
I feel like I've learned a lot today, guys. Thank you.
I'm happy that he's here, because I'm trying to talk to all my friends about it, and they're just like, I'm like, it's medicine.
No, we just got to stop preaching it, and then they just be like, one day they gonna come at you and be like, Mila, something different. What's goody? And then their ears are opened up a little bit more.
Okay. I'm passionate about it.
Mike, do you have an affirmation that you can share with our tribe?
Do I have an affirmation to share with the tribe?
I always ask our guests, and then maybe you have something that's, I don't know, maybe tantric, or maybe not.
Okay, it's simple. When you ever have a thought that you don't like, or a thought that you've been holding on for too long, and it's not a good thought, just have positive thought, positive speech,
positive action.
There you go. That's simple.
Positive
thought, positive speech, positive action. Good one.
That's a good one. I like that.
We pulled a card.
Oh yes, we did. Three of Swords.
I feel like we've gotten this one recently.
I've got that one recently, but it was paired with a lot of drama.
Okay, it says heartbreak, emotional pain, sorrow, grief, hurt.
That's right. That's what I pulled it.
Was it upright, Mike? Maybe this is for someone in the collective. When the Three of Swords turns up in a tarot reading, it signals that you are feeling deeply hurt and disappointed. Your heart has been pierced by the sharp blades of others' hurtful words, actions, and intentions, and they have inflicted intense emotions of pain, sadness, grief, and heartbreak. These events are unexpected and come out of the blue, making them even more painful. The Three of Swords is also about an emotional release. When you have suffered a major setback or loss, now is an excellent time to have a good cry. Expressing your sadness is part of the cleansing process, and letting it all out will help you move on to better times. Allow yourself the opportunity to experience these emotions, no matter how painful. Cry, shout, or scream at the top of your lungs. Do whatever it takes to express your anger or pain, as this will help your emotions flow through you and out of you. However, it is essential that you continue to focus on the path ahead. You may run the risk of becoming so absorbed in the emotions swirling around you that you lose sight of the need to just let go and move on.
I think that I have a 15-step process to becoming the man I'm becoming, and I just finished 3 steps, and so I think that is the dying of that old me and growing into the new me.
Yeah. I mean, not even that it's just being this time of the year, but I feel like I resonate with that too. I don't know if it's just like graduating and going through like that initiation, and like, you know, I had a like intense release, and it was extremely emotional and vulnerable in school during testing, which I literally was talking shit about. Like, they were talking about last testing, and like somebody started just having some kind of crazy scream, like she had to stop testing, and I was like, what would ever prevent someone to be screaming during testing? And then it just so happened that I was the bitch screaming and crying during testing, and my dear friend Mike was here supporting me through it. And it felt like such a heavy release, but it also felt extremely intentional, and I felt myself tell myself, like, don't brush over this. Don't make it. I felt there's a point I wanted to like make a joke and like keep going. And I had to tell inside of myself, be like, don't do that. Just sit here for a minute. And because I was at school and I had the tools to like even give it a voice and say like, what do you need from me right now? And that awareness to move through it and transmute it like days later, even till now, I feel like it was like there was things that happened that woke me up in ways that were super necessary. And so I just think like maybe you're feeling the same way.
Yeah, I said, I think when you talk about your friends, they be like, bitch, what the fuck? Like when you talk about this stuff, I think a lot of people are just numb. And when you're numb, you have no recollection of what is, you feel me? And so I think it's all about just being us and becoming in that person. And so for me, in regards to the 3 swords, yeah, it's just a lot of clarity, a lot of gained wisdom, I'm a different man. So I think that, I'm no longer Mike Larry, what the homies used to call me, right?
Where you now?
I'm just Mike Johnson.
Hey.
Speaking about deep tantra and sex, did you bring a hoary for us, Mike
Johnson?
Mike Johnson, I know you have some hories.
Can I tell you, your name kind of sounds like a porn name.
Mike Johnson.
Yeah. Like,
Coming to the stage, Mike Johnson. Or like
a stripper?
Yeah, stripper. Mike Johnson.
Nah, I think.
Will you be our stripper in Dallas?
I mean that in the best way possible. Don't be offended.
I didn't take it that way. I didn't take it that
She
way.
means it's the name of a star.
It's the name of a star.
Star, baby. With me. A star.
Do I got a horror story? A horrible story?
No, it could be a good. Some horror stories are good.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, horror story. I'm glad it's me and not my homies up here talking about me. What horror story do I have? Horrible story do I have? There was once a point in time in my life when I was at a certain location, when I was way, way younger, that like it was really bad. Because if it was like a group of women that took a picture, there was a certain percentage that I had relations with.
Like they were all in one picture? Or
on multiple times in that period of my life. And so, yeah, it was a horrible story. I said that the most discreet way possible.
You saw a picture and you had been with most of the women in the picture?
Like a group of friends?
Yeah, but it was just like a thing. And so I had to change that. It was a period of my life. I'll say it like this. This is how I say it. It was 2 years of my life.
You're being very vague, Mike.
I know.
You're getting very... I'm trying to decode what the fuck you're saying right now.
It was 2
He was whoring outside amongst a close group of friends.
No, so like I was in Portugal at the time.
Okay, more
living in
details.
Portugal.
Okay,
There
we go. Particular location.
I was living in Portugal at the time. I was on a military base.
Okay.
And it's only like 600 people on that base.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so therefore, if you're obviously cut down from that, the people that fit your group, obviously, like you know what I mean, it was just bad. It was like it was just a lot. It was
You're
like
running through the base.
It was like a lot of percent. It was like a lot of percent.
Is there a lot
pictures.
of sex happening on military bases?
Hell
Is it?
yeah!
It's like
Hell
orgies.
yeah.
Are there orgies? happening?
Yes.
Yeah. Why wouldn't there be?
It's people that get deployed.
Oh my
and
god,
be
this is like
popping
the
tricks.
perfect. Are there a lot of OnlyFans people in the army that are like?
You can get
I
kicked
don't know,
out.
maybe like they put I don't know masks on or something.
Wait,
Yes.
am I the only person who never considered that there's crazy orgies?
It's like
happening
it's a bunch of boys and girls on
like a camp, basically.
camping out together for months.
Okay,
It is not just like that.
but there's always some dark shit that happens too to the women. Like there's always some strange. There's always
There's more men than women.
I know. So I don't
A lot
know. That
more.
doesn't even seem like a good environment, honestly.
A lot more, especially in the Navy.
I don't think it's hard to have had your pick of the litter when there's not a lot of women. I would assume, right?
This is the elevated version of me. I'm not going to even respond to that.
Okay.
The way the old me will respond to that.
You really want to say? Nah, the old me wanted to say something, but I'm.
Yeah, the old me would have. Yeah, would have said something.
I feel like you have more better hories than that, but I'm gonna let you slide.
It's being shy.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let you slide.
I'm gonna have to go on Patreon and really spill the tea.
All right, do we need to cut
Yeah,
and go to Patreon? So there could be 30,000 less people on our business. That might be better. Well, maybe we'll do a little after dark real quick. thank you for coming to hang out with us. Mike, I'm so happy to finally see you in the United States.
I know, right? I've seen you a few times.
In civilian world, we're usually in a tantric bubble.
Yeah. Mosquitoes and flies.
Right, and a lot of... that sounded weird. But tell the people where they can find you.
If you care to have a conversation or care to have something to say, get it off your chest, or just have some advice, you can go to feelingseen.com. We have a newsletter so where you can write in, and we have experts in the field, doctors, clinical therapists, and sexologists to respond to you.
Amazing. That's dope. And you guys, you know where to find us, but more importantly, we're going on tour. And we have some shows coming up, and we're so excited to bring our Confessions of a Good Mom to you. We're going to Philly, Dallas, DC, New York, Charlotte, Houston, and there's one more. I can't remember.
That was it. You said DC, Philly?
DC, Philly, New York.
Yep.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
So make sure you click the link in this episode description. Get your tickets before they sell out. It's going to be sexy. We have surprises. We're going to be there. It's going to be fun. Bring your lover. Bring your partner. Come alone. Find a friend. Join our Discord. Make friends there, because that's how a lot of the tribe connect before the show. They link up in the Discord, and then none of them know each other, and then they all leave as best friends. So click the link in this episode description. Come see us on tour. Join our Discord and Patreon. And is that it?
That's it.
Love you.
Bye. Love you.